Imagine you are standing in a forest in Siberia during the Cold War. It's quiet. Then, without warning, your eardrums rupture. A shockwave hits you with the force of a hurricane, snapping trees like twigs. The heat is intense enough to sear your skin. Something just flew past you at 3 times the speed of sound, just above the treetops. But the noise and the heat aren't the worst part. As you look up at the trail of smoke left behind, you are already breathing in death. Because that exhaust plume isn't smoke. It's raw, highly radioactive. You have just been housed by Project Pluto, the most sadistic weapon ever conceived by the human mind. Welcome to Shadow Works. Last time, we looked at the Soviet Caspian Sea monster, a giant boat designed to fly low and hide from radar. Today, we look at the American response. The Pentagon decided that if they couldn't hide from Soviet radar, they would just fly so fast and so violently that it didn't matter. In the late 1950s, the U.S. Air Force began a secret program to build a cruise missile powered not by jet fuel, but by a nuclear reactor. They called it the SLAM Supersonic Low Altitude Missile. But the engineers who built it had a grim nickname for it: the Flying Crowbar, because it was blunt, brutal, and designed to beat the enemy into submission just by flying over them. To make a missile fly around the world at Mach 3 forever, you need an engine that doesn't run out of fuel. Conventional jets need oxygen and petroleum to create thrust. Project Pluto replaced the petroleum with uranium-235. It was a nuclear ramjet. The concept was terrifyingly simple. You take a nuclear reactor, heat it to 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit, and then ram air through it at supersonic speeds. The air instantly expands from the intense heat and shoots out the back, creating massive thrust. In 1961, at the Nevada test site, they actually built these engines, codenamed Tori 2A and Tori 2C. When they turned them on, the heat was so intense, they had to use millions of pounds of pressurized air stored in oil tankers just to cool the test stand so it wouldn't melt into slag. The tests were a success. The engine worked. Humanity had created a flying nuclear reactor. So, how do you use a weapon like this? This is where Project Pluto goes from clever engineering to absolute madness. The plan was to launch the missile from the U.S. using conventional